All right, somebody say y'all want me to go live. See who up this morning. Let's see. Get a little workout in. Get that week started right. Let's see if I can get set up here. I'm going to get a better tripod than this looks like for this thing here. For the grind though. What up? I see you. HVAC minded. I see you, man. Just finna get it in. I ain't gonna say too much. Just finna get set up. I'm gonna get my week started right. Shout out to people that's on the West Coast. I know y'all up early. East Coast, y'all got a little head start on us. But yeah, did a lot last night. Rode my bike. I got about 5 miles in, then my headlight went out. I had to call my wife to come pick me up. Couldn't see. Too dark. Too dark on me. All right, it's back here. We're gonna get right though. Hey, if you ain't got the gym equipment, hey, you know what I'm saying? Do a couple push-ups. That way it all started with me. Push-ups, sit-ups. You know what I'm saying? Pull-ups. Couldn't do nothing about it. I think when I first started, when I started doing the pull-ups, calisthenics, I couldn't do number about 3. Oh, long time ago.
The only kind of patrol you
Last time they gave me a copyright claim on without listening to. Let me see. I want to listen to some Earl Nightingale or some Gina Rome or something like that, man. Get me motivated. Hey, to me, that's very important, man. How we start our day, what we put in our mind, very important. Early in the morning, don't let nobody mess that up. Very important how you start your day and how you end your day. So, you know what I'm saying, when you're laying it down at night, you might want to read a book or listen to something positive, but it's very important how we end because it's in our subconscious mind. You got to start the day right and end the day right, for real. Like I say, you pretty much going to determine how your day going to be. It's going to work.
Let me give you the 4 major lessons in life to learn. Here's 4 majors. Still study the majors. In our weekend seminar we teach, some people don't do well because they major in minor things. You've got to be on the lookout. At the end of every week, end of every month, you've got to check, make sure you're not spending major time on minor things. And we go through that whole series. Majors and minors. Now, let me give you 2 phrases before we get to the 4 majors. This will set it up and you'll see where I'm going. 2 key phrases for your notes. Here's the first one. Life and business is like the changing seasons. That's the first phrase. Life and business is like the changing seasons. One of the best ways to describe life is like the seasons. Frank Sinatra sings, life is like the seasons. Now here's the second phrase. Very important. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. You can't change the seasons, but you can change yourself. And see, that's how life is better for you. Not by chance, but by change. Now, here's the 4 major lessons in life to learn. I got my first book finished, came out a couple of weeks ago. This is it, the 4 major lessons in life to learn. Here they are. Number 1, learn how to handle the winters. That's lesson 1. They come right after falls, with regularity. Some are long and some are short and some are hard and some are easy, but they keep coming. You must learn to handle the nights. They come right after days. You must learn to handle difficulty. It comes right after opportunity. You must learn to handle recessions. They always follow progressions. For the last 6,000. See, it isn't going to change. The lesson you must learn is how to handle it. And there's all kinds of winters, right? The winter when you can't figure it out. The winter when it all goes smash. The winter when it turns belly up.
Hey,
The winter when it won't work.
big problem.
You run out of money.
And I'm all aware these type of videos might hurt my channel as far as views and stuff like that, but I ain't tripping.
Economic winters.
If I can help one person out, I'm good.
Winters. Personal winters. When your heart is smashed in 1,000 pieces, and the nights are unusually long, your prayers seem to go no higher than your head. It's winter time. Barbara Streisand sings, "It used to be so natural to talk about forever, but used to be's don't count anymore. They just lay on the floor till we sweep them away."
I think I can use this iPad to look at a couple of comments if y'all want to
And you
see.
don't say,
What up, HVAC minded?
and you don't bring me flowers.
Going down here, give me a little protein shake, give me.
A song of winter. But see, the disappointments come. Those are normal. That's part of life. But the question is, how do you handle it? How do you handle the coming winters and the disappointments and the downtimes? Well, you can't get rid of January by tearing it off the calendar. But here's what you can do. You can get stronger, you can get wiser, and you can get better. The winters won't change, but you can. And that's how life changes for you. See, before I understood when it was winter, I used to wish it was summer. I didn't understand. When it was hard, I used to wish it was easy. I didn't know. And then Mr. Schultz gave me a part of his very unique philosophy when he said, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better." See, that triggered my whole life change. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more wisdom. That's the key. So that's lesson 1, learn how to handle the winters. Here's lesson 2. Learn how to take advantage of the spring. That's the second one. Spring is called opportunity. And spring follows winter. What a great place for it. If you were going to put it somewhere, that'd be the place to put it, right after winter.
I am great.
And pray tell, how often does spring follow winter?
It's gonna be a great day.
Every year with regularity, 6,000. You can almost
Got
count
plenty
it.
of energy. I'm in great
See,
health.
opportunity always comes.
I'm joyful. I'm happy.
Isn't that terrific?
I'm
Opportunity.
a multi-millionaire.
But here's what you
I
must
am
do.
a
Underline those 2 words in
multi-millionaire.
that key phrase. Take advantage. Underline those 2. You must learn to take advantage of the spring. See, just because spring rolls around is no sign you're going to look good come fall. You gotta do something
I'm a
with it.
great husband. I'm a loving
In fact, you
husband.
have to get good at one of 2 things in life. Planting in the spring or begging in the fall.
Yes, I am.
Or
I can do anything I put my mind to.
Now here's what else you must do. Take advantage of the springs quickly, because there's only a few. Just a handful of springs have been handed to each of us. They don't come forever. Life is fairly brief. So you got to read every book you can get your hands on what to do with your springs while they're here. And take advantage, they soon run out. The Beatles wrote, "Life is so short." And for John Lennon, it was extra short. But life is brief. Elton John sings, "She lived her life like a candle in the wind." It's brief. So whatever you're going to do with your life, you got to get at it. Don't just let the springs pass. Here's the third major lesson you have to learn. Learn how to protect your crops all summer. You gotta take care of what you start. Sure enough, as soon as you've planted your garden in the spring, The busy bugs and the noxious weeds are out to take it. And here's the next bit of truth. They will take it unless you prevent it. And that's the third major skill to learn. You've got to learn to prevent the intruder from taking all the good you start. It's one of the challenges.
That's right.
Here's two key phrases on the number 3. First one, all good will be attacked. On this planet. Maybe not the next one we get to, but on this one, all good will be attacked. Every garden will be invaded. Not to think so is naive. And here's the second phrase.
Let's get it.
All values must be defended. Political values, social values, community values, family values, marriage values, friendship values, business values. Every garden must be tended all summer. Third major lesson. Now here's number 4. Fourth major lesson in life to learn. Learn how to reap in the fall without complaint. Learn to reap come harvest time without complaint. Take full responsibility for what happens to you. It's one of the highest forms of human maturity, accepting full responsibility. It's the day you know you've passed from childhood to adulthood, the day you accept full responsibility. And another note, learn to reap in the fall without apology. Without apology if you do well, and without complaint if you don't. That's maturity. I used to have that long list of reasons why I wasn't doing well. To explain. You've got to explain, right? Otherwise you're going to look bad. I used to have this funny list called Reasons for Not Looking Good. I used to blame the government. I mean, you can believe that or not. It was at the top of my list. I had a lecture second to none. The government, that was on the list. I used to blame taxes. Look what you got left after they take everything. And they expect you to do well. That was on the list. Prices, that one's easy, right? You walk into the supermarket with $20, come out with a little half bag. So I had that on the list. I used to blame the weather. I blamed the traffic. I used to blame my car. I blamed the manufacturers. I used to blame the company. I blamed company policy. I used to blame the training program. I blamed my negative relatives. They were always putting me down. I blame my cynical neighbors. They're just selfish, looking out for themselves. Won't loan you money? They were on my list. I used to blame the economy. I blame the community. That's a pretty good list for not doing well, isn't it? I thought it was good. I'll never forget one day, Mr. Schultz was very kind, but he was also very blunt. And this was no exception. And I'm glad he was blunt. There's a lot of things I'd have missed if he hadn't been blunt. One day, with sort of a curious look on his face, he said, Jim, just out of curiosity, tell me, how come you haven't done well up until now? Excellent question. I thought, well, so I won't look too bad. I'll go through my list. And this list I just gave you, I put that on him. And he was very patient. He let me go through the whole thing, the government, the weather. I went through this whole thing. When I finished, he looked my list over very carefully. He said, Mr. Rohn, big problem with your list. You ain't on it. How brilliant. When I went to work for him a few months later, I learned very quickly to tear up my list, reasons for not doing well, and I threw it away. And I got me a fresh piece of paper. And I put one word on it. Me. There's a Black Heritage spiritual that says it's not my mother, nor my father, nor my brother, nor my sister, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. See, I used to blame everything outside. And then let me give you a little philosophy that helped turn my life around. For your notes, here it is. It's not what happens that determines the quality or the quantity of your life. It's not what happens. And the reason is because what happens to about everybody. No different. The sun went down on all of us last night. A common event, a happening. And I found out that the same things can happen to two different people. One gets rich and one stays poor. Why is that? It's because it's not what happens, but rather, it's what you do that changes everything. So that's a key phrase. It's not what happens, it's what you do.
Motivation.
What happens is about the same. You might put that parenthesis here. Same. What people do, that's what's different.
Motivation right
Anything can happen,
there.
not everything can happen. I've heard all the stories. I've been one of the stories. Hey, we could all tell stories all night long, right? Happenings. Anything can happen. Have you heard of Murphy's Laws? Anybody here heard of Murphy's Laws? Okay, most of you have. Murph had these laws. One of them was, if anything can go wrong, it will. That's one of Murphy's Laws. He was not one of the great positive speakers of the day. But anyway, it's still true though, right? Anything can go wrong, everything can go wrong. For sure. I've fallen out of the sky so many times. Once to the tune of a couple of million. Devastating. Took me a while to survive that one. Now, it wasn't all that much, but it was all I had. I mean, that's when it's much, right? When it's all you got. If you got 3, 2 go, you got 1 left, you ain't looking that bad. But when it all goes, has anybody been there when it all went? Anybody? Come on, rest you liars. Hey, we've all been there, right? When it all went. Of course, it used to be a long time ago, right? When you ran out of money, got to 0, you were all through. Heck, now you can whistle right on by 0, right?
All right, I see you, Eco. Good morning, Eco.
But see, those are the happenings, right?
Hey, Fly, you said you were gonna be here. You're a man of your word, Fly. I see you. You said you were gonna be here. Salute. All right, HVAC people. What's up, Victor? Hey, Victor. Hey, where you from again? You in the Caribbean somewhere like that. St. Louis?
Special gifts reserved.
Good morning, folks.
Everybody has them. The difference is what you do about it. It's not the weather. I used to blame the weather, and I discovered it rains on the rich. So see that one? Well, 2 men wake up one morning, there's a rainstorm on. One of them looks out his window, sees the rainstorm, and he says, wow, what a storm. With weather like this, they can't expect you to go out and make sales. He stays home. Same morning, the other guy looks out his window, sees the same storm, says, wow, what a storm.
Everybody got to be
But he says, you know what, with weather like this, what a great day to go out and make sales. Most everybody would probably be home. Especially the salesman. See, that's the difference in how your life works out. It's not what happens, it's what you do. So here's one of the key questions of the evening. Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do that'll make a change in your life's direction? Good question. What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Now, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the same. And see, that way you can guess what the next 5 years are gonna be like. Look at the last 5. Because the next 5 are gonna be like the last 5, unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all. Or change a little, or change something, or don't change. It's choice time. You can do whatever you want. But it's nice to know any day you wish you could change your whole life. can you do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Good question.
Gotta start somewhere.
What can you do with economic chaos, massive disappointment? What can you do with a broken heart? What can you do when it won't work? Good question. So if I had a word with you tonight, one-on-one, just you and me, I think my personal advice to you would be, this year, 1981, reach down inside of you and come up with some more of those remarkable human gifts. They're there, waiting to be utilized. And then change anything for you want to change. And I challenge you to do that because you can change. If you don't like how it is for you, change it. If it doesn't suit you, change it. If it doesn't please you, change it. If it isn't enough, change it. And I challenge you to do that because you can change. See, you don't ever have to be the same again after tonight, only by choice. If you don't like your present address, change it. You're not a tree.
You can change it.
Now let me
I'm reading the book.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty. What does it
Called
take
The
to make
Habits
a
of-
change starting tomorrow?
I ain't breaking yourself or
It
something
takes
like
more
that.
than philosophical pronouncement. I know that. It also takes more than enthusiasm. We're hearing a lot about enthusiasm these days, but see, that just won't do the job. We're still hearing the old cliches of the 30s, right? To be enthusiastic, you must act enthusiastic. But see, that's not going to help. After you have leaped about, there are some things you've got to do, or it isn't going to change. See, you can get all excited about lifting 200 pounds till you get to the gym. And then you need a new excitement. And the new excitement is called discipline. Major step to human progress. Discipline.
Self-discipline.
If there's one thing to get excited over, that's it.
Hold
Get
yourself
excited
accountable,
over
baby.
your ability to make yourself do the necessary things.
It's necessary.
What could you make yourself do starting tomorrow that would change it all? No!
Brainwash myself into greatness.
Now see, that's exciting. On any given day, you can massively change the direction of your life.
Any day.
Murder is a clear example that any one person on any given day can forever alter the course of their life. It just happens to be a negative act. But just as sure as you can commit a negative act, you can also commit a positive act. And forever
I'm in zone
alter
2.
your life. Whenever-
124 heartbeat.
Now that's exciting.
Gotta get at least zone 3.
And whatever that act might be to change your life. The guy finally takes a shotgun to his car and blows out every window, destroys every tire, puts 100 rounds in this shabby old thing. And he says, I have driven this embarrassing thing for the last time. And not only will I never drive it again, nobody else will ever drive it again. And he lets that shuddering thing stand there for a while as a monument to the day he said, today my life changes. Now who can do that? Anybody. When can you do it? Whatever day you pick. Now here's the key to discipline. Start with the little disciplines, get excited over the little disciplines, and get right on those because those will lead to the big ones. You can't handle the big challenges in life unless you take on the little ones. Make a list of all the things you can do, get right on those, discipline yourself for those, both for the results and for the muscle, and for the practice. So when life hands you some big challenges, you'll be ready, you'll have the muscle.
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
But see, if you don't handle the small ones, you can't take care of the big ones. Okay, here's what else it takes for life change. Self-motivation. Key phrase, self-motivation. I don't know why we call it self-motivation. It's really the only thing there is. You've got to motivate yourself. Because I found out you can't change people. They can change themselves, but you can't change them.
That's right.
Lord knows some I've tried. But see, it won't work. People have to change themselves. I learned some of those lessons early. I built a little sales organization way back in those early days. I'm 25. And I had some nice people. I said, I'm going to make these people successful if it kills me. I almost died. I mean, you can't do that. See, I discovered this. Good people are not trained, they're found. You find good people. You don't make them good, you find them good. So you gotta find the right people. That's the key to getting a good job done. One of the major things we learn in management, lesson 1, don't send your ducks to Eagle School. Because it won't help. I mean, I'm telling you, it won't help, no matter how good your school is. And the little eagle badge and little eagle hat, I'm telling you, it won't help, it won't help. You can tell whether your school's done any good, right? Is when it's over, right? The duck goes for his first rabbit and makes him a friend. You say, no, no, no. Anyway, so it takes self-motivation to really alter your life. And you don't want to give self-motivation away to somebody else and make it somebody else motivating you. The guy says, boy, if somebody just come by and turn me on. What if they don't show up? Right? See, you've got to have a better plan for your life. Okay. Now, if you're excited and you're ready to change, let me give you 3 steps to start life change that can change your life, your personality, your lifestyle, everything can change. Here's the steps. Number 1, find out how things work. The first key to doing better is find out. To change your life, really, you need ideas. There isn't anything an idea can't change. And short copy, the major problem is lack of an idea, not a problem. At first, I didn't have any money. I said to Mr. Show, I don't have any money. He said, that's not a problem. Now, see, up until then, I always thought it was. I was confused. He said, no, the problem is lack of an idea on how to create money and wealth. It isn't lack of money, it's lack of ideas. So if you get the ideas, so you can change anything. Now, to get ideas, you need a constant study of finding out. Now, Show also said, when you find out something that works, put the information in your journal. Don't use your head for a filing cabinet. Put it in your journal so that you can do the next best thing. Repetition, repetition.
Hey Google, what's the weather?
Right now in Katy, it's 50 degrees and clear. Today, it'll be sunny with a forecasted high of 70 and a low of 44.
Repetition. Go over it. And if you repeat it, go over it, sure enough, someday, some mysterious day, the idea takes root, starts to grow, and shows up in your bank account, and your dress, and your personality, and your lifestyle. But capture the ideas in your journal. Find out how things work. Show me this word for my life change. He said, study. Great word. If you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. Don't leave it to chance. Make it a study. Some people just go through the day with their fingers crossed. See, that won't do it. You've got to study the things that can change your economic, social, spiritual, personal life. Now, here's a qualifying phrase. And we'll have several of these qualifying phrases throughout the seminar. Here's the first one. You may not be able to do all you find out. I understand that. You may not be able to do all you find out, but you should find out all you can do. See, you don't want to wind up at the end of your life and discover that you've lived only 1/10 of it. And the other 9/10 went down the drain, not for lack of opportunity, for lack of information. So that's number 1, find out how things work. Now here's the best human virtue for finding out, curiosity. Make a note of that. Curiosity. Be curious. You might add a word to it, though. Childish curiosity. What will kids do if they want to know something bad enough? But you, that's the phrase. They can ask 1,000 questions. You think they're through? They got another 1,000. They'll drive you to the brink. It's a virtue. When you gotta know, be like a child. In fact, Jesus, the master teacher, said, unless you can become like little children, you might as well forget it. You don't have a prayer. Excellent advice. You gotta be like children. 4 ways, in my opinion, to be like a child. Number 1 is curiosity. Number 2 is excitement. Get excited like a child over your ability to make yourself do anything for change. 3rd is faith. Have faith like a child. Adults are too skeptical. And 4th is trust. Trust is a childish virtue, but the rewards are incredible. So be like a child. Now, if you're curious, let me give you 3 ways to find out how to change anything. Any life direction, any dimension. Here's 3 ways to find out how to change anything. Number 1 is to read. Become a good reader. All of the successful people I know and work with around the world, they're all good readers. Curiosity drives them to read. They gotta know. They just read. Become a good reader. Now that's my opinion. Listen to the other lecturers, and listen to me, and make up your own mind. Don't be a follower, be a student. Okay? I say, really, for life change, you gotta read. One way to learn is from your own experiences, but another way to learn is from other people's experiences. See, one book might save you 5 years if you read it. Did you know there's books on how to be stronger, more decisive? Be a speaker, be a leader. Have a better effect on other people. Develop your personality. Did you know there's books on that? And people don't read them? How would you explain that? And they can read. Did you know that hundreds of successful people have written their stories in books and they wrote down how they did it and people don't read it? How would you explain that? The guy's busy, I guess. You know, you get tied up. The guy says, well, yeah, you work where I work. By the time you start going home, it's late. You got to either buy supper, watch a little TV, get to bed. You can't sit up half the night reading. And the guy's behind on his car payment. Good worker, hard worker, sincere. But you got to be better than sincere and work hard. Otherwise, at the end of your life, you'll wind up cold, stony broke. You've got to be better than a good worker. You've got to be a good reader. The whole world is governed by laws. The universe, in fact. Laws. We call it the law of electricity. We call it the law of gravity. There's mathematical laws. There's physical laws. Speed and velocity laws. Agricultural laws. There's all kinds of laws. Now that we find ourselves on the spinning planet, you just have to learn what I call the setup. Learn the setup. Life's setup. Now, we didn't set it up. We're here, so you got to learn it. And we should learn the setup for 2 basic reasons. Number 1, to keep from getting hurt. That's one of the major reasons for learning, so you won't get hurt. See, economically, socially, personally, you can get hurt just not knowing. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is poverty. Ignorance is tragedy. You gotta know, or you're gonna get hurt. It's good to know not to walk out the 10-story window. That's excellent information. Now, what if a guy didn't know and he walks out? Now he's dead at the bottom. Somebody says, well, the poor guy didn't know. You gotta know, or you're gonna get hurt. Okay. Now, here's the premises. You don't have to like the setting. I don't ask you to like how it is. That's not what's important. But it is important to learn how it is. Okay, so you don't have to like it, but you should learn it. That's what I tell the kids, right? Make sure you get the information. What you think about it, that's up to you. What you're going to do with it, that'll still be up to you. But make sure you get it. See, there's nothing worse than being stupid. Nothing.
I got a tip. Tip of the day, very important.
But being stupid
Only
is
breathe out your
awful.
nose.
And what's really bad is
Breathe
being
out your
broke,
nose.
right?
Don't
That's
breathe out
about
your
the end
mouth.
of the world. I mean, there isn't anything much worse than that. Unless you're sick. Sick, broken, stupid. I mean, that is it, right? There's nowhere else to go. So make sure you get the information. It's key. You don't have to like it, but learn it. If this big monstrous thing lifts up in the sky, hangs there for a little while, cuts loose, comes crashing down, boom, shakes the ground for 5 months. And then this big monstrous thing lifts back up in the sky, hangs there for a little while, cuts loose again, comes crashing down, boom, shakes the ground for 5 months. It just keeps doing it, this big monstrous thing. Lifting up, and then crashing down, boom. Now, you might come along one day and say, that's got to be a stupid arrangement, which is okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But the first thing you should learn to do is get out from under it. Right? That's number one. You might have a great moral argument. You might want to shake your finger at the sky, but do it from over there, right? So you don't get smashed. It's called your basic smart. So number one, learn. So you
What's up, Marvin? I see you.
Learn.
You say you get up early.
Here's the second reason for learning. The
You're a man
second-
of your word. I see you, Marvin.
It's called the plus of life. And that's what life is, right? Both minus and plus. The minus is tragedy,
Look,
heartache, misery,
like I said,
failure,
I'm
unhappiness.
26 minutes in. I'm doing anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes.
Good feelings.
Got a couple
So
of maintenance today. My first job at
learn to get on
9.
the good side.
Now I got 3 hours.
Work.
You know what I'm saying? Got a head start on 90% of the world.
Now,
Just like getting early.
we gotta take a break.
A lot more done. Could get on the computer for a little while. Work on my business.
Now again, I'm an amateur, okay, when it comes to the
I
Bible.
run circles around.
So you'll sort of have to take my way of putting it. But here they are. The first one is the law of use. The law of use. And it goes something like this. Whatever you don't use, you lose. Lack of use causes loss. On this planet, maybe not the next one, but on this one, if you tie your arm to your body, leave it there long enough, you'll never use it again. It's over for the arm. Now, it may not be over, but it's over for the arm. The only way to keep the use of this arm is what? Keep using it. If you quit, you lose automatically. They don't bring it up for a vote. You lose automatically when you quit. Now, the same thing that goes for your arm goes for your brain, mentality. The same thing goes for all the human virtues. Ambition, unused, decline.
Yeah.
Strong feelings, unused, diminish. It doesn't grow, it diminishes. Faith, unused, decreases. It's a law. Vitality, unused, diminishes. Energy, unused, decreases. The guy says, well, I'm going to save up my energy. You can't do that. That's like trying to save today, put it on the end of the year. See, you can't do that. They'll come take you away. If you don't use today, what? It's lost. The guy says, well, I'll work twice as hard tomorrow to make up for it. See, that's foolish. You could have done that anyway. Today unused is lost. A talent unused is lost. An ability unused is lost. So here's one of the key expressions of the evening. Take a new inventory of yourself. Starting tomorrow, new project. Take a new inventory. And make sure that all of your talent and ability and mentality and ingenuity and vitality and strong feelings, faith, courage, make sure that all you've got is being used. Otherwise, you lose. Now, one of the best illustrations of the law of use is a Bible story called the Parable of the Talents. The talent story. Interesting story if you haven't read it in a while. Just review it. It's a good story. An ancient story. It says there was a master with 3 servants. He got them together one day and he said to the 3, I've got these talents. And in those ancient days, a talent was a measure of gold. And he said to the 3 servants, take these talents and see what you can do with them while I'm gone. He said, I'm taking a journey and I'll be gone for a while. When I come back, we'll get together, go over the book, see how you did. He said, here's 5 of these talents for you. 5. Here's 2 of them for you. 2. And here's 1 for you. 1. The master said,
All right.
talents, see what you
You
can
just
do.
burned 262 calories.
The servant said,
How many people y'all know them burn that many calories right
It's
there
an
this
ancient
morning?
story. The master comes back from his trip. When he gets back, he gets the 3 servants together, and as he said he would, he asks, how did it go with those talents? You were 5. What happened? That servant said, well, I took the 5 talents you gave me, and I put them to work. A little shaky at first, but he said things finally got rolling. And he said, I poured it on. And he said, my talents grew to 7, 8, 9, 10. He said, I doubled my talents from 5 to 10. Books will show. Master said, one heck of a job. Or something like that. He said, I gave you 2 talents, what happened? That servant said about the same thing happened to me. I took those 2 talents to work, poured it on, they grew to 3 and then to 4. He said, I doubled my talents from 2 to 4. Books will show. Master said, well done. He said, I gave you 1 talent. What happened? That servant said, well, I took the talent you gave me, and I carefully wrapped it, and I dug a hole and buried it. And camouflaged it, I suppose, so nobody would steal it. And he said, fortunately, nobody got it. And he said, I knew you were going to be here today, so I dug it up. Here it is, safely wrapped. I did not lose it while you were gone. According to the ancient story, the master said, take that talent away from him and give it to the man that's got 10. Now you might say, well, I don't like that arrangement. The poor guy's only got 1 talent. He's already got.
All right, folks, for to get ready.
It ought to be
Whoa.
more even.
Get ready to end this.
Remember,
Whatever I
I
want to
didn't
say.
ask you to like it. But this one I would ask you to learn,
Thank
because
you.
it simply
Like this.
means whatever you do not employ.
Gonna go ahead and end this
you
one, folks.
forfeit. It's a law.
Like I said, we did.
So learn well the law of use. Now here's the second one, and we're going to take our break.
We did wait.
This one we've heard since we were small, I'm sure. It's called the law of sowing and reaping.
We gotta get a head start on the world. Self-discipline. Get a head start. Most people probably just not getting up out of bed. Hey, get a head start. You gotta start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I think health. Somebody left a comment say health is just more important as wealth. I kind of disagree, because if we wealthy and we ain't healthy, man, you can't even really enjoy that. So I think health comes first. That's where it starts. You know what I'm saying? Starting our mind mentally. You know what I'm saying? You know, how we want to look, how we want to act, how we want to dress. Look 5 years down the road, how you see yourself 5 years down the road. Start mentally working on yourself. Then, you know, family, kids, brothers, uncles, best friends, they might kind of look at you different, like, man, you changed. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you change for the good. I think that's my camera right there. You're gonna change for the good though. You know what I mean? Like I say, but it start one day. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make up your mind. Like I say, what I'm doing now with this channel, I know a lot of people like me in the field showing my troubleshooting and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's what I enjoy. It might hurt the channel a little bit. Of course, this is all about HVAC, but can't be no good HVAC technician really. Well, you can be a good HVAC technician, but I promise you, if you're in better health, breathing better, heart rate, blood circulation, all that stuff better, it's gonna make you a better person and a better technician. It's gonna show. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, you can take on more jobs if you're in good health. But that just kind of what's on my mind. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to, hey, just start today. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you start, you make up your mind to start. And one more tip too, if you got an idea, go ahead and write it down, because sometimes those good ideas can, you know what I'm saying, escape us. We'll try to find the rest of our life trying to find that great idea. So whatever ideas you got, whether it's in the shower, take a minute, write it down, put it in your notes on your phone or something like that. All right, HVAC people, we out though.